السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, we continue our book Riyadus Saliheen by Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi. This is the 38th chapter of the book, and the chapter is with regards to urging our families, our children, our spouses towards the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to protecting them from the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the hadith for tonight is one Amr bin Shu'aib an abihi an jaddihi عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مروا أولادكم بالصلاة وهم أبناء سبع سنين واضربوهم عليها وهم أبناء 10 وفرقوا بينهم في المضاجع أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام حديث حسن رواه أبو داود بأسناد حسن. So the hadith is reported by Amr bin Shu'aib, who reports from his father, who reports from his grandfather, and the authority is reported to be authentic, Hassan, both in Abu Dawud and other books, where he mentions that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Muru awladakum bis-salati wa hum abna'u sab'a sinin." The word muru in Arabic is the word of amr, which refers to ordering or commanding. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Command your children to perform salah when they are 7 years of age." Meaning you begin at a time when your child begins to comprehend the do's, the don'ts, the right and wrong. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that command your children to perform salah prayer when they are 7 years old. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, وَضْرِبُوهُمْ عَلَيْهَا وَهُمْ أَبْنَاءُ 10. And when they reach the age of 10, then you may punish them for not obeying or not fulfilling this command. And I'll explain the word itself, punish, and what it means, and the amal of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam before it raises any questions. And last but not least, the third point Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in this hadith was وَفَرَّقُوا بَيْنَهُمْ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. And when your children reach that particular age, meaning the age of 10, then change their beds and do not let the children, meaning boys and girls, even though they may be siblings, to sleep together in one place, in one bed. Meaning remove or move their beds or their locations into different places. So 3 ahkamat and rulings that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave in this particular hadith, which is reported in authentic riwayah Abu Dawud. Number 1, command your children when they reach the age of 7 to perform salah. With that being said, ulama have mentioned this shows the importance of salah. And brothers and sisters, and especially for mothers with young children and children at home, it is not only a command, it's an action that your children want to see. Meaning, we have seen this in our own lives, that a lot of time, even young children who can barely even walk and they're crawling and they're seeing their parents pray at home, and they'll start performing sajda, they're performing actions, just like they're seeing their parents. So as I always remind myself and all of you, our children observe us more than they listen to us. Our actions are much louder than our words. Sometimes we are parents who say, do as I say, not as I do. But don't be those people, right? We have to be the practical examples. When they will see us going to the masjid and performing salah, they will know it is something important. When they will see the mothers and they will see people performing salah at home, they will know the importance of salah itself, right? We inculcate the importance of all other things in their minds. And forgive me for being a bit harsh, but brothers and sisters, if a single glass breaks in our house, we're able to scream at our children. An egg falls from someone's hand, a child's hand, and we think it's a loss and we scream at our children. But if my own child disobeys Allah and leaves salah, I have no pain in my heart. If my child leaves the command of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in front of my own eyes, I have no pain in my heart, right? The loss of things and the world itself means huge pains for us, which are all temporary and you can gain them as quickly as you can. But when it comes to the loss of deen in our lives and the lives of our children, I need to gauge my own self of what value I have in my own life for the deen itself. So Rasulullah ﷺ said, create the importance of your children in making salah even at the age of 7. And that does not only mean salah, but ulama have mentioned other commands of Allah as well, such as fasting if they can do at least once or twice in Ramadan, so a habit could be built. Maybe give sadaqah in front of them, or give them the zakat in their hand to place in someone's hand or someplace where they feel the importance of giving for the sake of Allah at a very young age. So to instill the commandments of Allah in your children from a very young age. Number two, Rasulullah said, when they become 10, وَضْرِبُوهُمْ, which means punish them, which means a situation in which a permissible action of upbringing and educating our children, but not to a place where our children begin to suffer and have physical injuries. Because a lot of time, and I've seen this a lot of time, that it's the choice of words that we choose with our children. If we speak to them in a voice that is much louder, we think that they are listening. They are not. They're just looking at our anger rather than focusing on our words. So being important, and of course, sometimes as parents, as mothers and fathers, we need to be more strict than others. And that is acceptable in both Islam and both in your society itself, to make sure that you instill within them good character and right upbringing itself. But of course, not to the level that causes physical injury to the children. As we know, the amal of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Anas radiallahu anhu said, I spent 10 years with the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, never even once he screamed at me, right? This was the amal, and of course, that was the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but for us. And of course, as observed through theory, that children should be given, a space, but not to a point that we lose our children completely, and of course they become rebellious. One person came to Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh, and he said that my child beats me, subhanallah. And he said, did you give your child a good name? He says, no, I didn't choose a good name for him. He says, did you give your child a good mother? He said, I did not make that right choice at that time. He says, did you give him the tarbiyah of the Quran? Meaning, did you teach him adab and etiquettes? He says, I had no time except for earning for my child. So Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi in Kimia Sa'adat, it is mentioned in his kitab, he said that rather than beating, if he had put a sword on your neck, I wouldn't be surprised. Meaning you missed all the points that you're supposed to take care of. Meaning to bring that tarbiyah in our children's life, it's very important. As fathers and mothers, be a source of changing their lives. And then of course, further going towards creating other injunctions of deen within their lives. And last but not least, when your children become of the age 10 or close to the age of maturity, change their beds, which means teach them haya, teach them modesty, teach them honor, teach them the importance of what a responsibility of a boy or a man is in Islam, and begin to have the conversation of what a responsibility of a woman and a girl is. Because if they start getting these information, and I know it's a very critical and sensitive topic, but if parents are not able to have that good conversation with their children, then these children will get resources from places which will not be the most beneficial for them. So it's important to either reach out to your local scholars to get some input on how to have these discussions with your young children, especially which are near the age of puberty. How do we discuss these issues with them? How do we talk about the importance of it? And especially at the time we're going through, brothers and sisters, with regards to roles of gender and responsibility of what Allah has put inside of us, it's very important that we have these open conversations. If we don't instill that identity within them, we will begin to lose our children. So again, great responsibility upon us. Rasulullah ﷺ said, command your children to perform salah when they are age of 7. Punish them, meaning in a sense that they begin to learn rather than put physical or any suffering or injury upon them, but in a way that they learn the importance of praying salah at the age of 10. And separate your beds, meaning the boys and the girls be separated when they reach that age. May Allah give us tawfiq and protect our awlad and our children. May Allah give them istiqamat and steadfastness upon deen, and may Allah give righteousness in all of our homes as well, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta.